obviously are in the circle, sustained excellence. What is the trait? And I know it's hard to narrow it down into one, but what do you think is the trait or characteristic that you have innately or perhaps that you've developed over the years that you feel has allowed you to have that sustained achievement? Like you're not a flash in the pan. You're not a one night or a one hit wonder. Like you've done this for a while. So tell us what you think is that one trait or characteristic.
I think what's really important is communication. I think to be able to motivate and encourage others by having that confidence and being able to let people know exactly what you're thinking so they know what the expectation is and how to achieve that level. Don't take anything for granted. And I think if you're able to work with an individual or a team and they understand right where you're coming from and what you stand for and what your standards are, then they know how to please you. You know what they want and what they need. And as a leader, you can provide those things. I think it's really important.
Excellent. Talk about mentoring. Obviously, part of what you do, a large part of what you do, is mentor others. So talk about how you've been mentored and why mentoring is important to you.
I feel very blessed. I grew up in an era when it took a village, and the neighbors, your teachers, your mother, your grandmother, friends, family. In other words, I was mentored by so many great scout leaders. My church, I had so many wonderful people as part of my life. And I noticed down the road that people, as they got successful, some were afraid to attribute their success to others. I think it's important we share, because I think it's what makes us who we are. And I think that's a wonderful gift that we can then share with others so that you pay it forward. There was an old shampoo commercial. You tell two people who tell two people who tell two people who tell two people. And so for me, I love to send the message that, we're all here to help you, to elevate you, to put you on our shoulders, to lift you up. And I think that makes us all just better people.
I love that. Talk about a commitment that you have made in the community that requires some inner strength and courage. I know there's things that we do that come easily, right? People all the time come to me and say, Mary Beth, I'm really having trouble writing, something. Can you do this? And that comes really easily to me. But there are other things that I do when it's like direct service in a disadvantaged community that sometimes I feel like, oh, this is a little hard for me. And that's, I think, what we're going for in this question here. Something that has really required some grit and some courage on your part in order to make the community better.
Community service. I mean, I live to serve. I was just raised that way. I put God first, and I put my community, my marriage, my company. Those things make me who I am and make my company a great company to be part of. And I say that because, again, it's all those you bring into it. You're only as good as the people that elevate you. So it's really important to take very good care of them. And I find that when I started the Goodwill Ambassador Scholarship Program, back when I started my company, not only starting a brand new company as a woman owned by myself until my husband came in later and grew the company with me, I just kept wanting to think of how could I get this out there, not just as a profit-making organization, but not for profit. How could I help? How could I do outreach? How could I just put myself out there and say, you know what, I'm going to put it all out there, and if it works, great, and if not, I'm going to figure something else that will work, and being really resilient, very important, and not taking a failure. There are no failures. When you try, hopefully you'll succeed, but if you don't, try something else. And if you do succeed, share the wealth. So with the scholarship program that I started, it was helping young people in grades like 5 through 8, and then it expanded to younger grades and older. And it was all about how can I teach others that communication is important, leadership skills are important, sharing, community service. So I was really proud of that, but I really took a chance on that because, you're trying in your first years of building a business to make money and stay afloat and be a good business person. But to me, equally important, if not more important, was how do I give back to a community that has been so good to me. I mean, that's why I moved back home after traveling the world, after being Miss USA. Instead of staying out there with all the other big celebs, there's no place like home. I love Rochester, and I wanted to move back and share all my knowledge and information and resources and grow my business here in my hometown where I've been doing it for 38 years. Very proud of that and very excited to look towards 50.